The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
No one should have to choose between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Purina is helping to create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters through the Purple Leash Project, so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
At Thales, we know cybersecurity can be tough and you can't protect everything, but with Thales, you can secure what matters most. With Thales industry-leading platforms, you can protect critical applications, data, and identities, anywhere and at scale with the highest ROI. That's why the most trusted brands and largest banks, retailers, and healthcare companies in the world rely on Thales to protect what matters most. Applications, data, and identities. That's Thales, Thales. Learn more at thalesgroup.com/cyber.
Welcome back to the Infinite Rabbit Hole. I'm your host, Jeremy, and today, nothing's going according to plan. Yet again. Gotta love it. It's alright. We were going to have Michael D. Winkle on today, trying that interview for the second time. I'm just going to do an interview with him off of the internet, just over Zoom or something. I do owe him an interview, and trust me, I want to talk to him. He's got a lot of really cool things to discuss. He recently published a book. It's called Beasts Beyond Belief. If you're watching this episode, whether it be on Spotify or YouTube or whatever, this is the cover of his book. I will just put out a quick note about this and why I want to talk about this book so much. I often get asked for good reference material for cryptids or whatever. Pick a topic. In fact, last week I did a really cool panel with somebody, Lyle Blackburn, where we just discussed cryptids and urban legends, and we just kind of answered a bunch of questions for fictional authors that are using a cryptid or a monster, creature, something as an antagonist in their fictional book. And you know, I told them the same thing I really tell everybody else. If you want a good, just overall book set for cryptids or creatures, the books that you really want to have are from George Eberhardt. And what these are encyclopedias. But these are great books. They're encyclopedias, and they cover nothing but cryptids. It's called Mysterious Creatures, A Guide to Cryptozoology. But where Michael D. Winkle does it different is that he covered a ton of odds and end pieces that you'll never see somewhere else. For example, the flabbit. It was mentioned in multiple newspapers, and there was reports of people seeing it, including police reports, over a 2-day span in Oklahoma. Very interesting creature that I've never heard about. Basically, it's a rabbit with wings. Don't really have another way to explain that, but that's what it is. Tons and tons of really good stories about things you don't hear about all the time. No Bigfoot, no Mothman, no Jersey Devil, no, things that you just get a dime a dozen wherever you look in the cryptid world. These are things that you just don't hear about. Can you hear me now?
Jake!
Can I mute him?
No, not babe. I said Jake. Same thing. I said Jake, not babe.
Oh. Well, I have a feeling that this episode is going to go. We're just going to toss this one too. Hey, Cub.
Jacob.
He's got my sunglasses on. He said he didn't have those. Those are mine.
Are you sure? Maybe they just look like yours.
Nope. Those are mine. I specifically said, hey, man, you got my red glasses? He's like, no.
Maybe he's dressed up as you.
He's not. I don't own that shirt.
You guys look the same.
It's true. It is true. We do look the same.
You got your speakers on, Jake? Does this mean I get to go to bed early tonight?
Yeah, probably.
The white Guy Fawkes mask is definitely the best.
Oh, yeah. 100%, dude.
Definitely the best.
Anyways, while whatever's going on over there is going on, you were talking about Three Eye Atlas, right? Funny story, that article I sent you and the rest of the chat, apparently they caught it flashing lights perfectly mimicking the Fibonacci sequence or the golden ratio. How fucking cool is that? And then you come up and you say that we're not getting those pictures, because you're right. They took those pictures on October 2nd.
So wait. Are you saying it was like luminescent what is it?
Well, they originally thought that it might have been like reflections from the sun, right? But then somebody noticed that it's going off in the perfect sequence of the Fibonacci sequence. So like, think of how you would picture a perfect spiral in sound. It would go boop, 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 right? So the beep that moves furthest away from the origin sound would be double the length and time between its last one. So let's say the time between the first two beeps or the flashes in the case of Three Eye only took 1 second, right? The second or the third one, so the time between the second flash and the third flash would take 2 seconds. And then the time between the third flash and the fourth flash would be 4 seconds. And then between the fourth and fifth would be 8, and so on, right? So it was flashing lights, or what they thought was just sun reflecting off of it, in a perfect Fibonacci sequence.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Hey, we hear you. Can you hear us? We hear you. We hear you.
This fucking guy. He looks tired.
Yeah, he does. Two things about that. Number one, seems crazy on the face. Number two, everything is in nature.
Yes.
Has Fibonacci sequence encoded into it. So is it as crazy as it sounds?
Yes and no, right? Biology does, right? It's not necessarily a random chunk of rock, right? You can't look into a crystal, right, at the microscopic level and see the Fibonacci sequence or the golden ratio. Now, if you looked at the way like a lot of plant life comes up, snail shells, ferns, there's a lot of different examples where they grow in a perfect Fibonacci sequence. So it's
more than just biology. I mean, I just even Googled it just to make sure I'm not an idiot, but the Fibonacci sequence appears in space through applications in lunar mapping, the potential spiral patterns of some galaxies, the general mathematical relationships in planetary orbits.
Okay.
So,
now, the galaxy, that's a good argument, right? Yes, the galaxies do tend to take on a perfect Fibonacci sequence, but that's not because of growth or of a natural static pattern. It's technically centrifugal force, right? So you not believing in gravity, right, it may not make a ton of sense to you, but centrifugal force basically is, think of the gravitron, right? The carnival ride where you stand there and spins really fast and you stick to the wall, right? So think of that and think of how that outward momentum would go from that point of origin in the center of that ride. Like, let's say there were no walls and we just flew off of it, but instead of flying off of it and landing on the ground, we just continued out into space. That's basically, in a nutshell, what is happening with galaxies.
Can you hear us now, Jake? No, we can't hear you. I heard you before.
Can you hear us, Jacob?
Yes.
Hey!
There he is.
There I am. Yes. Yes, I can.
Are those my sunglasses?
No, there are some cheap, crappy 7-Eleven sunglasses because I got LASIK 2 days ago and I'm super light sensitive, so I just need something.
Told you those weren't your glasses.
Those look like the ones I wore to UFO days 2 years ago.
Those look. I stole them from you. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if you can find them or not, I suppose.
All right.
That's funny.
Well,
what up, Jake?
What's up, dude? I had a costume to wear. It was a grizzly bear costume, and then it broke while I was trying to put it on in a hurry to get on this episode because your guests failed. I was watching, and then everything went to crap, and I was like, oh, here's my time to shine, and then I ripped the costume in half, so here I am.
I thought you were just dressed up as Jeremy tonight.
Yeah,
With
you'd think that,
with his glasses and all.
We're pretty similar, except for some minor differences. Tiny.
Jeff said identical.
Yeah, you guys.
No, it's like our eye color and our hair color, and that's about it.
Well, you look at his eye color is obviously red. Mine's green.
You guys are literally the same person. What are you talking about?
I don't know about that.
He's prettier. Jeffrey is such a smart guy. Well, all right. So we were gonna do this episode at another time, but here it is. Jake is coming back.
Here I am.
Welcome back, Jake.
Thanks.
He came crawling back once again.
Yeah, that's me. Crawling back, Jake.
Crawling back, Jake.
So you still haven't finished that? You still haven't?
No, no, definitely not.
Well, we were just talking. Did you hear what we were talking about?
Something about some such or another.
Yes, you were paying attention. Good.
Yes.
No,
Fibonacci sequence or some such or another.
The three-eye atlas. You familiar with the three-eye atlas?
No, I don't get into nerd stuff.
Interstellar object.
Which is funny because I was just watching The Fourth Kind before your guys' interview went to shit, and then I was just like, oh, gotta.
Oh, yeah. I started watching The Midnight Sky, and I passed out about 10 minutes into it.
Well, it's was it October, so I gotta watch all the scary movies and stuff.
Here's another article. Let's see. This is not the same one that I shared with you, Jeffrey. But
that's research. Right. I didn't read the first one, so
I know you didn't.
I got to take the mask off. I can barely breathe in this thing.
This one's from USAHerald.com. Researcher claims interstellar object 3-eye atlas emitted Fibonacci sequence light pulses on Fatima anniversary. Are you guys familiar with Fatima or Fatima?
Sounds familiar, but you have to remind me.
Sounds very familiar.
What, the Fatima?
Sounds like a Greek thing.
No. No.
Maybe a Sumerian thing.
It was in 1970. All right, we'll just give you the here. I'll just bring it up.
See a Bitcoin headline there.
Here's just the AI overview of the Fatima UFO incident. Refers to the interpretation of the 1917 miracle of the sun as a possible UFO event due to witness descriptions of a luminous disc-like object dancing in the sky, radiating light and descending towards the crowd, while the Catholic Church designated the event a miracle. Ufologists and alternative researchers suggest the phenomenon could have been a sighting of an unidentified flying object, based on accounts that align with modern UFO reports. So this originally happened on October 13th, 1917. This is something that we should cover, so I'm not going to dive into it too far. Because I want to eventually cover that whole incident.
I mean, the Catholic Church will literally deem anything a miracle. You have rust coming out of an iron statue of the Virgin Mary out of its eyes, and they'll deem it as a miracle. It's really, pushed past the Catholic Church. But, I mean, that is interesting for sure. I mean, to have a bunch of eyewitnesses to an event is very interesting. Of course, yeah. The Catholic Church will say like a burnt thing that looks like the face of Jesus on a piece of bread is a miracle. I mean, it's just pushed past that. But anything else, with where you have any sort of a interstellar or a celestial sort of body that has a lot of eyewitnesses and stuff is incredible in itself, certainly.
Yeah. Well, here's going back to the USAHerald.com, some of the key developments as they list. Independent researcher David Sarita reports observing structured light pulses from interstellar object 3I Atlas on October 13, 2025, exactly 108 years after the miracle of the sun at Fatima. The claimed pulse patterns 5, 8, 13 flashes matches the Fibonacci sequence, a mathematical pattern found throughout nature that leads to the golden ratio 1.618. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory went offline concurrent with the observations, preventing independent verification as 3I Atlas approaches its closest point to the sun. And that, Jeff, aligns with what you were discussing a little bit. Do you want to restate what you were talking about, sir?
Which part?
About us not getting images?
Yeah, so this thing apparently flew by. Why am I keep going and out of focus, bro? I hate that.
Don't worry about it. Just do your thing, man.
It's odd to me that, well, there's just a lot, really, but this thing flies closest to Mars that it's ever going to get. And the plan was apparently to turn some of those satellite imagery whatevers at it and get some close-up pictures, right? And they were going to be twice as good as the Hubble pictures. Okay. And apparently they took, this is on October 2nd, I think was the date that they were supposed to do this. I might be wrong on the exact date, but it was like around then. It was like at the beginning of October. They didn't share those images.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Casamigos Tequila. What do you bring to a holiday party? Simple. A bottle of Casamigos. Because nothing gets the party started like a Casamigos margarita. Which isn't just for summer. In fact, it's the perfect pour all year round. Casamigos is the gift that always feels right. Because anything goes with my Casamigos. Please drink responsibly. Imported by Casamigos Spirits Company, White Plains, New York. Casamigos Tequila, 40% alcohol by volume.
With new, gentler scented Clorox disinfecting wipes, clean finally smells as good as it feels. On everything from lamps to ceiling fans. Even on your kid's toy shark. Oh, ouch. Clorox disinfecting wipes. Now available in crisp lemon. Find it on Amazon. Clorox. Clean feels good.
With anybody. They didn't share them with scientists, astronomers. They didn't share them with the public, even though you paid for them. The government happens to shut down right at the same time. Now, I'm not saying that the government shut down because of this.
Right.
But there's, the government shutdown is because of a lot of things, right? There's a long list of reasons why they would shut this government down. Sure, there's like...
Also that they just do it annually.
They do it all the time, right?
So.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And like, I was talking to one of my buddies about this, and he was making the point, yeah, they shut it down because, Democrats wanted this and Republicans wanted that and blah, 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 blah. So the government shut down. Sure, fine. But what I'm saying is that there's probably a list of things that they could check the box and be like, oh, yeah, by the way, since the government's going to be shut down, we could just make this excuse of why we don't have to share these fucking images or why we didn't take these images or whatever the case might be. All right. So it's not the reason, but I think it's just like another checkbox that they checked off because of the government shutdown. But the point really is they either took the pictures and they aren't sharing them with everybody, which is odd, right? Because NASA loves sharing their little color by number pictures. That's like their big thing. We didn't get these ones. So I don't know, man. But, like Jeremy Corbell was talking, and I don't really trust Jeremy Corbell. We all know this on this show. But
it's fucking odd, man.
It's odd, and he did that thing a few months ago where he was sitting down on the stool in the spooky room, and he was like, look, man, they're going to try to trick everybody and say there's an extraterrestrial threat of some kind, and, be aware. And remember that whole thing that he did?
Yeah.
And it's just odd to me. So I'm in this weird spot because we all know that I don't trust anything that comes out of the space agencies as far as information, right? So on one hand, I don't think there's actually an object. I don't think this is anything, actually. On the other hand, I think that they're going to make everybody think that there is and that it's a threat of some kind. And the more that all of this stuff is kind of like playing out the way it is, it's really pushing me towards that Project Bluebeam situation, which again, to me, is not alien invasion. It's just extraterrestrial threat, asteroid impact, comet impact. Maybe it's an alien threat, whatever it is. It's a threat from outside. And that's just what I kind of see playing out, man. It's kind of crazy.
So what was it, back in the 90s, right? Serge Manasse came out with the whole Project Bluebeam theory.
Right.
Right? He was from Canada, right? Didn't they end up having him killed?
I'd have to look into it. It's been a long time since I looked up Serge Manasse.
I want to say he supposedly died of cancer or something, right? But
his whole theory was that they were going to use hologram projections in the sky to fake an alien invasion and blah, blah, blah. And that's possible, right?
Right.
But I've just over the years developed like a different understanding of Project Bluebeam that's not Serge Manasse's understanding. To me, the threat, it's just a threat from outside the Earth that nobody can verify. We just have to trust the words of the experts and the government officials and say, yep, there's a threat, right? Kind of like the pandemic situation. It's just like, just trust the experts, bro. Like, there's a problem.
Well, it's 3i Atlas. It has so many. I don't know. It just stinks of like a modern Project Bluebeam, and with how much notoriety that the topic had, especially in the 2010, 2020s, when people just really started talking about Project Bluebeam, you would think that because of how many people were aware of the concept that they would have to have changed it up, right? And this 3i Atlas is fitting into that empty void, if you will, very nicely. And it's all right. I reached out to a buddy of mine. Okay, I have a buddy out in Hawaii, guy I served with, and he's a part of this astronomy club out there. Okay, I asked him, I said, hey man, do you know anything about this? He said, yeah, they track it. So he meets up there every 3 or 4 days, a couple times a week, and they do random things, right? They're obviously the one thing that they're really heavily tracking right now is 3i Atlas. There was a good portion of time in September where they were able to see it almost every night. They can't see it right now because the sun's in the way. So when it's nighttime, we're facing the complete opposite way. He said, this 3i Atlas was something that we were tracking for a while, and we are supposedly going to be able to track it again come November, December timeframe when it breaks away from the sun more and we can get a better view of it again in the night sky. Now, I do believe in space, right? And I believe not necessarily, I agree with you to the point of that we're not being told everything, right? I do believe that they have a lot more figured out about space than what is out there for the public knowledge, where your belief is slightly different, right? We both see that there's issues. We just believe that they're different issues. I do believe that there is something out there. I know somebody who's personally tracked it. What it is, I don't know. I have no idea. My gut says, man, it's just a space rock, right? It's just something flying by. It's probably happened hundreds of thousands of times. We just have the technology now to be able to see it and recognize it. But then you have all this weird shit that's happening, right? Like you said, NASA's not giving us the images. Now, a government shutdown. I'll tell you one thing, okay? You watch the mainstream news, and they're constantly putting out all this bad shit about the government shutdown and what it means for taxpayers and people who work for the government and how they're never going to get paid. Well, I can tell you, in my 8-year career, and I'm sure Jake has similar stories, my 8-year career in the Navy, the government shut down every year, and I got paid every year. It never stopped, okay?
Nope.
So the whole government employees not getting paid, there's a reserve of money for them to get paid, okay? It's not...
I didn't get paid twice with Obama, thanks to his government or his military cutbacks. I got 2 missing paychecks, 2 months, and Navy Fed had to bail me out. But Navy Fed bailed me out, so it wasn't like I didn't get paid, right? They gave me a no-cost loan that I had to pan back over the course of some time. But yeah.
See, I never saw anything like that. But the government shut down.
Wow.
Never.
Nice.
Not once.
Here's the new thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But the government shuts down every single year. And it's always at this time. This is when the fiscal year starts.
Yeah,
right?
it does. For sure.
And you usually don't see anything really come from it until after the holidays. They're just taking an extended fucking holiday break, and they're doing it on your fucking dime. And they're gonna throw a fit about not, getting their yearly raise, or so and so's not adding this to this bill and whatever. But really, it's probably because they want more fucking money to do nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, and at the same time, they want to be able to take a 3-month vacation.
And it's to score political points against the opponents all the time. It's their fault, or no, this time it's their fault. It's a fucking shell game, dude. It's retarded. But check this out. I just found this Manhattan-sized interstellar object 3i Atlas emitting metal alloy never seen in nature.
Yeah. So alloys, right? You guys familiar with what alloys are?
Blow it up.
Alloys are just basically mixed metals. Now, the particular, we know what it is, and the reason why we can tell what it is because of certain imaging technologies that we have. If it shines a certain color, basically corresponds to something, whatever, some metal that we know of, or element, right? Yeah, there you go. So
Manhattan-sized interstellar object zipping through the solar system is producing a metal alloy never witnessed in nature. The expert told the Post. New images of mysterious object taken by the Keck 2 telescope in Hawaii, where your buddy is, in August, and released Wednesday, confirmed the interstellar flyer is emitting a plume which contains 4 grams of nickel per second with no evidence of iron, unheard of in comments. The end result is an alloy called nickel tetracarbonol, which has only ever been previously witnessed in human manufacturing, Dr. Avi Loeb told the Post.
Avi Loeb is the same guy who originally presented the idea that 3i Atlas was extraterrestrial, too. That's that Harvard astronomer. He has a really good book, by the way. It's called Extraterrestrial. Phenomenal book.
Yeah, well, it's funny because if you go on NASA's website, right, NASA says, hey, look, this object poses no threat to Earth, right? The trajectory, the distance, blah, 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 it poses no threat. So on one hand, you have that. On the other hand, you have all these other people talking about all this weird phenomena. You got Avi Loeb talking about, odd phenomena going on with this. You got the Fibonacci lights, whatever is happening there. So to me, somebody's full of shit. And if I got to guess, if I had to put my money, if I had to put my Bitcoin on who's full of shit, I'm going to say it's probably NASA, because they're usually full of shit. So if that's the case, then this thing does pose a threat. They just haven't gotten that far yet, right? Like they haven't hit us with that part of it yet.
Which I think it's coming, whether it's a real threat or not. I got a lot of really good fucking feedback from our episode that we talked about this and the potential for a collision with Mars. Dude, I got
it's not the Mars thing I'm worried about, right? Look. I know I'm the space is fake guy, but I'm just going to set that aside and just assume the models that they tell us are correct. If you look at the trajectory, this thing already passed Mars. It's behind the sun right now. We can't see it until the end of December. Once it keeps going, it's going to pass behind Jupiter, right? Jupiter, it's on the same plane as all of our planets, right? So once it goes past, Jupiter is going to continue on, and it's going to kind of go behind Jupiter. We all know Jupiter has a massive gravitational pull, right? Look at the Shoemaker-Levy comets that hit Jupiter in the 90s, right? It broke up into like 20-something pieces and slammed into Jupiter, and that was the first time that we were all like, oh shit, this happens.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that this object gets slung shot by Jupiter's gravity and it alters the trajectory to where it comes back and now it's a threat?
I'm going to say that there is a chance that it could get influenced by Jupiter's gravitational pull, but it will not be strong enough to be able to ricochet it back at us.
Not directly. Not directly. But it could alter that trajectory, and then they might come back and say, hey, look, in 50 years, this thing's going to swing back around, right? It's not going to be like tomorrow. It's not going to be like, shoo, and come right back at us, but it could be a thing where it nudges at just the right angle, at just the right force, and they do the math and they say, hey, 50, 100 years from now, this thing's going to come back and it's going to be right in a collision course. And that's the thing about this whole extraterrestrial threat. The whole point of it is to do what they did with the Patriot Act, to strip away more rights, to have more control. So all they have to do is tell us, hey, look, we have 100 years. We got 150 years, whatever the number is. This thing's going to come back and hit us. So we have to start now. Right now, we have to adjust everything in society to start building the defense mechanism for this object, right? And like, even though we're not going to be here to see it happen in 150 years, it doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying? They strip everything away. You don't think so? I see Jake shaking his head over there.
I don't think that the human race would be able to come together like that. It wouldn't matter.
Well, if it's a new world, if it's a global new world order playbook that they've been working on for a long time, dude, I talk about this all the time, right, bro? Like they get everything's all hunky-dory on the International Space Station. Everything's all hunky-dory in Antarctica. Yeah, we're about to throw nukes at each other, but there's places where we all just hang out and get along and there's no problem.
Maybe.
So.
Well, I mean, you got, like, look, even if we looked at this from a religious perspective, not everyone's going to take the mark of the beast. There's going to be people that are going to fight against it just because they want to fight against it. It doesn't matter, the new world order or whatever, right? So even if you could have a new world order and say, hey, everyone has to come together, we're all going to die, there's going to be people who be like, yeah, let's all freaking die. I don't care. You know, type stuff. There's going to be tons of people like that.
Well, you've always got rebellions and, you know, contrarians in society. But, you know, like, if you and I are like, no, fuck you, right? Like, that's not going to matter.
But I don't think we're ever going to have like full societies or full countries all come under the agreement of we have to do something to save humanity. They're going to be like, nah, screw all of you.
They did it in Bretton Woods when they shifted everybody onto the US dollar as the fucking global reserve currency. Everybody agreed to that.
Well, almost everyone.
The governments.
Almost everyone. That's what I'm talking about. When I say everyone, I'm talking about the people who run the shit, right? Again, if we sit here and we're like, no, we're not going along with this, like, that's not going to change it, right? That's not going to matter. They don't care.
I think
they don't care about our protests.
If we had a circumstance where there was let's say, a global push to get everyone off the planet and onto Mars because we're about to be hit by an asteroid in 10 years, I think that you would have half the countries, the wealthier countries, saying, yeah, let's go for it, and the rest of them fighting against it because they know they're never going to get on the bus, so they just want everything in their power to destroy the system. So whether that's bombing the manufacturing systems, or that's, you know, car bombing the gate to get on the bus, or whatever it is, just like it would be absolute mayhem. You'd have half of the world that were like really well off, or that, you know, pulled their head out of their ass.
Okay, Chad, today you're gonna drive the all-electric Toyota BZ.
But my electric vehicle phobia. I'm not ready, Dr. Ross.
I believe in you.
Oh my gosh. We're inside it.
Try to take deep breaths, okay?
The ventilated seats, they're touching me.
You can do this, Chad. Drive the car. How do you feel, Chad?
I feel cured. Woohoo! I'm doing it! I'm doing it!
The all-electric BZ. One drive can change your mind. Toyota. Let's go places.
Hey, Fidelity. How can I remember to invest every month?
With the Fidelity app, you can choose a schedule and set up recurring investments in stocks and ETFs.
Oh, that sounds easier than I thought.
You got this.
Yeah, I do. Now, where did I put my keys?
You will find them where you left them.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Carvana lets you buy your next car on your terms. Explore a massive inventory online, filter for what matters, and find your perfect match. Then choose delivery to your home or pick it up at one of Carvana's iconic car vending machines. Every car also comes with a 7-day money-back guarantee, so you can make sure it's the right fit. Buy your car on Carvana. Delivery or pickup fees may apply. Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Carvana.
Asses for the last 100 years that were like, okay, we're technologically advanced to agree to it, but everyone else that had their heads stuck up their butts and then covered in sand would do everything in their power to destroy the system, and I don't think we would make it off the earth because
sure. But that would play right into the whole thing, right? Like the more chaos that there is, the tighter the grip gets, right?
Well, the tighter the control gets, of course. Yeah.
That's the whole
But
play, right? The
how
play
many
isn't actually
people
to
are
get
there to
off the
control
planet.
all the people, right?
Well, the play again in my mind isn't like to actually have a solution to save us from this interstellar object or something, right? Like that's not the actual play because again, I don't think that there's actually a threat. I think the real play is just to cause chaos and have everybody think that there's a thing going on. And then if there is rebellions that are happening and terrorist acts that are happening to try to stop the solution, you know, like that just plays right into it. Like, of course, yeah, we got to pass some more laws now because
security. Otherwise, we're all going to die. Yeah, you know,
ISIS is hitting all the manufacturing things and preventing us from being able to make strides on saving our planet. Like, we got to tighten the grip more now. You know, it's like I don't know.
All right,
to me,
I yield. You're right.
To me, it's just a giant. It's just another one of these things, man. Every time there's a massive global crisis, that's what they do, and I hope I'm wrong, but the way that they're playing this, it seems like this
all
is
day
going
long.
to be
But when it comes to like Hurricane Katrina, and I have buddies that were part of the security forces going door to door collecting people's weapons so that they couldn't shoot people. Meanwhile, there was looters looting people's homes at gunpoint, right? So there was like some sort of form of martial law, although it wasn't effectively helpful for everyone, right? It's just like, you know, you can hope for the best all day long, but will it actually happen? Probably not, you know?
Was it on, I want to say it was on a recent-ish Sean Ryan episode where they were talking about the moon and how it rang like a bell when it got hit. But they also brought up that really interesting theory. I don't know how much I actually believe this, but I thought it was interesting because I tend to like things that answer multiple questions. So the theory that was brought up was, I don't know the person who brought it up because it wasn't the guest. They were talking about somebody else. And I originally had thought it was William Bramley, but it's not. I had to look it up real quick. It's not what I thought it was. But the idea was that the humans or what are the name of the tall, white, people-looking aliens.
Nordics.
The Nordics. Thanks, man. The Nordics, or the Nords, originated from Mars, right? The moon is a terraforming tool, was put into orbit to terraform the planet because the planet Earth at the time was very dangerous, and it also had gigantic reptiles. So what they originally tried to do was to interbreed or to create hybrids of Nordics and dinosaurs, which gave birth to the reptilians. And then eventually they moved the moon into place to help terraform it into something more favorable for more Nordic-like humans. You guys heard about that at all?
Yeah, there's a book called Who Built the Moon? Christopher Knight and Alan Butler. They go over a lot of that. And that's something I've always talked about when we talk about like simulation and stuff like that. Like that's something that always runs through my mind. Because, you know, you can look through like ancient, I don't know, I want to use the word mythology, but you can look through like ancient texts and things. And there apparently, according to some of these cultures, there was a time when there was no moon, right? And then at some point there was a moon. So it's like this weird thing that happens, and you can, there's so many like questions like why does the moon ring like a bell? Why is it perfectly tidally locked? We never see the backside of the moon. It's way bigger than any other moon in comparison to the host planet. It's on a separate plane of orbit than almost every other moon that we've discovered. You know, it's perfectly the right size at the right distance to cause perfect solar eclipses, right? And lunar eclipses, like the whole eclipse thing is like super weird. There's just a lot of strange things about the moon. And then you can get really spooky. I talked to Crow 777 one time on the podcast, and he showed a whole bunch of videos, that some of them that he took with his telescope and other people, where there's this weird refresh rate that goes across the moon as if it's like a hologram projection of some kind. There's a lot. And then you have like, are you familiar with TLPs?
No, what are they?
Transient lunar phenomena.
Yes,
right?
I am. You talking about the little things that scoot across the surface?
There's like lights and weird phenomena, transient lunar phenomena, TLP.
Yeah, like people often will report like a blue light that just
blue lights. I mean, some people are starting to think that the moon is actually like it has volcanic activity and stuff. I forget the technical term for it, but it has like earthquakes and volcanoes, which they never really thought it. They just thought it was an aggregate moon. They just thought that it was just over billions of years, debris collected and it just became this like rubble rock that turns into the moon. But now they're starting to think, well, maybe it actually has like geothermal activity and volcanoes and stuff, because here on Earth, a volcano goes up, and a lot of times before that happens, you have weird atmospheric phenomena that happens, right? You have like things that are similar to the northern lights. You have these weird electromagnetic effects that happen, from earthquakes and volcanoes. So they're starting to think maybe some of that TLP is from that kind of thing on the moon. But then there's also like weird lights that look like UFOs flying around up there. And this goes back to, I think, like 500 AD was the first time that they discovered or somebody spotted TLPs, transient lunar phenomena. So it's like a 1,500 year thing that's been happening on the moon. I don't know, man. There's a lot of weird shit up there. I don't know how we got onto that from 3i Atlas, but it's weird.
Well, there's a lot of conspiracies with the moon. I think the moon's fascinating. I think it's a very interesting topic, and it's something I've really wanted to dive into on multiple occasions on this show, right? Just if you really look at a lot of the details with it, it does seem that it's from an intelligent design. Where it's placed in orbit around the planet, it's the only orbiting satellite, natural satellite in our solar system that's perfectly placed where it represents the exact size of the sun when it passes in front of it.
Right, which is why you get like perfect eclipses and things like that. Yeah.
Then you have the whole fact that it's, like you said, tidally locked, right? It's always facing us, and we never see the other side. We also don't ever see new craters being formed, but yet it's completely covered in craters.
You also have the timing of the orbit, which is super odd too. Like you have, your solstices, right? Your so your sky clock shit. So like your sun hits the solstices on specific days every year, which is how they basically broke down and developed time, that the way that we look at time on Earth. But the moon cycles, they're not like matched one for one with the solar cycles, but when you look at like a long time frame, like there's a pattern there, right? Like the moon cycles do a thing at a very specific interval in accordance with the solar patterns, and it doesn't deviate. So it's not like, I don't know, it's just super weird to me, man. Like it's probably a fucking mothership, dude, that was put here to terraform the Earth. And maybe we're on it in a fucking VR headset right now, living life on this Earth in our little simulated worlds, prepping us to get off the moon, right? That's one of my theories I've always had. Like, hey, maybe we are in a simulation on the mothership, terraforming the Earth. And until we get this right as a collective in the simulation and we don't nuke each other, we don't get off the mothership. So it's just like repeating the simulation until it's all good. And then once we're good and everybody figures it out in the simulation, they open the door and they're like, okay, go. Here's the Earth.
Man.
It'll be a good fucking movie. Somebody get on that.
Jake, tell us how stupid we are.
Very stupid. There's no way that the whole thing is us getting off the simulation of the moon or off the Earth. If anything, we are supposed to get off the Earth, which we are damaging through, maybe not like the United States or any first world country, but most countries combined, our destruction of the Earth and the pollution that comes from it. We have to migrate to Mars or something like that, but I doubt we'll make it, at least as a collective species, without then destroying other species that wish to destroy everyone else in the process. So say like any worldview that says that my God says I have to kill everyone else that doesn't believe in me, there is no coexistence, those people have to go away before we could ever progress to something other than just the Earth. Although it would take a very, very, very long time. And I think, honestly, we'll get struck by a meteorite or a asteroid before that happens. So, I mean, we could try. We could try really hard, and we could genocide whole cultures to get to our means of getting to the next place. But I think that in the process of that, we'll find a meteor the size of Texas or an asteroid coming towards Earth, and we won't be able to do a damn thing about it, and then we'll be blown into little bits, and then, hey, there we go.
I agree with that. There's a lot of evidence that, for the longest time, we thought that those extinction level impact events only happen like over the time spans of millions of years, right? Like you ask anybody, like, when was the last time an asteroid hit the Earth?
I mean, come on.
And they'll be like, the dinosaurs. It killed the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. But there's a lot of evidence now that these things happen like relatively often, right? I mean, I know like in the early 1900s, you had Tunguska, right?
The Tunguska explosion is wild.
Right, and that was 100 years ago. And there's been other like very small impact events since then. And then you could go back to like the Younger Dryas, when I did the whole Younger Dryas comet impact theory episode, right? Like there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of really strong evidence to show that fragments of a comet slammed into the northern hemisphere, the ice sheets that were 2 miles thick, and this comet broke up on entry, and multiple impacts happened across the northern hemisphere, which essentially instantly melted huge areas of this 2 mile thick ice, which flooded the entire Earth and wiped out everything, right? And just a very small percentage of humanity made it through and like rebuild civilization.
Sure, why not?
That was only 11,000 or 12,800 years ago, or whatever it is. And in relative time frames, that's not that long ago. You see what I'm saying? So I think that the fact, like the chance of something coming out of the blue or out of the black, if you will, and just slamming into us, it's probably relatively high.
I mean, honestly, I try not to be jaded, but bro, I look at the news day in and day out, month in, month out. And I'm just like, gosh, I'm on team asteroid. Let's go. Send us back to the Stone Age. I mean, come on, let's do the thing. Like, I'm feeling it, man.
I make the joke all the time. Let the nukes fly, brother. You know?
I don't know what else to say. It's just like, all right, well,
yeah,
pretty bad enough. Let's go for it.
This is crazy because this object, I think, was the size of like a school bus, and it was an airburst object. It blew up in the air, and it leveled like 100 square miles of trees.
Yeah, it's.
Isn't that crazy?
It's nothing that they can confirm. That's the best theory that they have. But it's wild. Like the fact that we have pictures of it, though.
How big was that really meteorite that came into the atmosphere over Russia a couple of years back that like blew out windows and buildings and stuff like that? It was like super bright.
It was like the size of a basketball or something.
I was going to say, I think it was. Yeah, I think that's what they said.
But it looked like a tank coming through the atmosphere, just like on fire. Like it was absolutely insane. Like as far as size goes, I mean that was. Oh man, I can't wait.
I can't. I got a lot of stuff I need to learn.
Nah, I'm good. We can wrap it up tomorrow.
Dude,
okay, maybe I want to adopt some kids and shoot a buck, but besides that,
this is another thing about this 3-eye atlas. Like it's on the backside of the sun right now, right? So we can't see it. So is it possible that when it shows itself on the other side of the sun and we start getting new images of it again, that they realize like, shit, this thing started to break up into multiple pieces on the other side of the sun, and some of those pieces are coming towards us?
I wouldn't be surprised. That would be Project Bluebeam. It's just without all the... Go ahead.
What is this 3-eye atlas you guys keep talking about? I joined it late, obviously.
Jake.
3-eye atlas is an interstellar object that they found in like June or July. They just spotted this thing. July.
It was the weekend of UFO days.
It was found by the Atlas research team, and it's the third interstellar object. So third interstellar, Atlas is the team that found it. So it's just a big-ass rock the size of Manhattan, apparently, that's flying through the solar system right now from interstellar space. And it had a close-ish flyby of Mars at the beginning of October. They were supposed to turn all the cameras to it and take pictures and all that, which is what I was talking about earlier.
Sure.
Where's the fucking pictures? And now it's like behind.
Breathe deep. Imagine your legs more limber in Duluth trading double flex denim. Envision euphorically squatting for that can of suds. bending for your toolbox in a state of bliss, plunging for your laser level on a whole new level. Relax and allow the flex to fill you with ability. Find your inner flex in Double Flex Denim only at Duluth Trading.
Every minute your finance team spends wrestling with data is a minute lost. Insight Software's AI-powered insights instantly move you from complexity to clarity. Automated analysis, real-time reporting, strategic recommendations, all at your fingertips. Transform how your finance team works and watch your business grow. Stop wasting time. Start making smarter decisions. Learn more at insightsoftware.com/AI.
Getting ready to step into your career era? Set yourself apart with Adobe Creative Cloud Pro for students. Hone your skills with apps like Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, and more, powered with the latest in creative AI. Students save over 55% so you can build a portfolio you're proud of. Launch your future with Adobe Creative Cloud Pro for students. Visit adobe.com/students to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus has movies. So many movies. The movies you've seen 1,000 times and could watch 1,000 more. Iconic movies your friends can't believe you haven't seen. New movies, classic movies, new takes on classic movies. So whether you're into Top Gun or The Naked Gun, Mean Girls or Mission Impossible, Smurfs or Sonic the Hedgehog, there's a mountain of movies to discover on Paramount Plus. Start streaming today.
The sun from our perspective, so nobody can see it right now.
Okay.
And we're not going to see it again until the end of December 25th, I think. Like literally on Christmas is when it's supposed to show itself again.
Yeah. In recent times, there's been only 3 since we've had the technology to track these large interstellar objects that zoom through our solar system. When Oumuamua came out or when they discovered Oumuamua in 2017, which was AR1I Oumuamua was its official name. Everyone was talking about how this could be an alien spacecraft, right? And it was mostly to do with its elongated shape and then its tumbling motion through the solar system.
It made an a correction in its trajectory as well from the day that they spotted it, and then like a couple months later they were like, wait a minute, it like turned, like it did an unnatural adjustment.
Okay. Well, sure. Here's the thing, right? Is that Atlas has done this, and Borisov, which is the second one, Borisov, which was found in 2019, also did this. They're starting to think now that there could be some random gravitational force out there, whether it be in the Oort cloud or whatever, that's causing this sort of motion. Now, there's also theories that there are planet-sized bodies out there that we just can't see.
Yeah, rogue planets.
I would wonder how strong the gravitational pull of certain planets, certain astral bodies, or black holes would be in order to change the directory of a body in motion in space, right? So that would be my thought. It wouldn't be that necessarily it was somehow a alien craft tumbling uncontrollably until it changes direction suddenly, but more likely that it's an astral body that through gravitational pull changes directions. But then you'd have to wonder, how strong can a gravitational pull be 1,000 miles away or whatever? Or maybe it's a black hole or a small black hole that we can't even see that just happens to kind of be in the trajectory, so when it's coming around, it just zips past versus continuing past, right? Where it just kind of loops around it, but we can't see it because we don't have the lenses or technology to see such things.
The best explanation I heard about the change in trajectory is off-gassing. Like maybe there's something where it's off-gassing, because it's getting closer to the sun, which is what comets do, is why you see like the tail of the comet, because it's like the shit's burning up and whatever, but... So it could be, I know what you're going to say. It could be some form of off-gassing. But the weird thing about it is that little cometary tail, whatever the fuck word it is, the tail of this comet or this object is facing the sun.
It's facing the fucking sun.
It's not facing away from the sun.
Super, super odd, man. So all the debris and everything is actually, it's not even in front of it. It's not in the trail of motion, or is it being trailed by motion? It's pointing towards the sun, which is weird, right? So When we discovered that this light, or the tail, we originally thought that this was a light, that this could have been like a luminary object creating its own light, right? Think of headlight beams at night, right? So you get that coning effect, and it would look similar to a tail of a comet. That's what people were thinking, because it wasn't trailing the comet like a typical comet. It was facing the sun. But that cone has also changed directions as well. So there's a lot of really, really weird shit. Now, the off-gassing thing is something else that I heard too, but I feel like we're applying a very human concept to an unhuman object, right? Meaning that, honestly, I think that the best bet is that this is just a rock, right? And could it be off-gassing? Yes, but now that we're finding that it's metallic, right? The only way that we would get off-gassing from a metallic object is if it's super hot, and we know it's not. We know it's super cold. So I don't necessarily think it's off-gassing, because that's how we move in space. We use little bursts of air to move ourselves in space.
Well, it's kind of off-gassing this nickel, whatever it is, this
It is.
What about two dissimilar metals together? I mean, I know they cause corrosion. Could they also cause sort of gaseous?
It is a chemical reaction. Yes, you're on the right. You're on the right path there, right? So thermocouples are created using two dissimilar metals, and you get a chemical reaction between the two metals, and oftentimes you get spots of corrosion when two dissimilar metals are touching each other, right? So you have to have basically there's a relationship between metals that work well together for thermocoupling reasons. The likeliness that we're seeing that in nature, probably slim to none. And then we also found that it's an alloy, so it's already a mixture of metals. So does that necessarily mean that there could be a thermocoupling effect? It could be, right? But the likeliness is no, because as far as we could, our best understanding of 3i Atlas is that it actually entered our solar system sometime thousands of years ago. So this thing would be off-gassing or diffusing itself for thousands of years. It would have had to have been incredibly massive, because it's not quite fusion, right? It's not nuclear fusion that's happening. It's a slower process, but still at that rate, I don't know.
I mean, I've seen a fence, like a wrought iron fence, go to decay and rust and fall apart in a matter of like 5 years. I mean, if this thing was off-gassing because of dissimilar metals causing it to create a chemical reaction, I mean, this thing would have had to have been massive, to the point of probably having its own gravitational pull. But then, like, to the point where it would actually hit us, it probably would be the size of like a baseball or something. Like, if it was creating that much gas to defer its trajectory, right, from where it was going because of the gases shooting off of it or whatever. It'd be ridiculous.
I want to just go back to what Jeff was talking about, how it has this tail of nickel alloy, right? It's not the way comets are, right? It's a debris field that's around it, and it's usually locked in by its gravitational force. So any object in a vacuum such as space will apply gravitational force onto other objects depending on its density and mass. So as these little chunks break off of it, it kind of just stays around. It's not a constant off-gassing of material. We're not creating more and more of a cloud. These little bits and pieces fall off of it by micro impacts from smaller pieces of debris that hit it during its travels. So let's say like a rock the size of a baseball hits this thing the size of Manhattan. It will break off a chunk of 3i Atlas itself, and then it itself would shatter into a ton of tinier pieces and be basically trapped forever in like a atmosphere, sort of, if you will, of rock and debris around this object. The weird thing about that is that debris field is creating a tail in a direction that doesn't correlate with its motion. That's the real odd thing about it. It's not that it's continuously off gassing. I don't think that's necessarily. I think in order to make those kind of moves, it would have to have come across an unseen gravitational body. And to answer kind of what Jake was saying, how much influence or distance there needs to be in order for influence, and what's the ratio there, it doesn't have to be much. It really doesn't. You can hit something half its size, and all of a sudden, we know 3-eye Atlas isn't a perfect circle. It's more of an elongated egg, if you will. So if it gets hit by a much smaller object, about half its size, in the right spot, it will deflect slightly. And that's kind of what we see, right? It's not something where it's taking a sharp 90-degree turn. It's making a half a degree or a degree pivot, if you will.
Which would be a ridiculous concept for a ship. If you meant to go somewhere, getting bounced around willy-nilly, I mean, shoot, you might get deflected back the way you came if that was the trajectory or that was the goal, right? So I would highly doubt that this was anything of intelligent design. Well,
I actually think
ship, I mean, maybe being an astral body, being of intelligent design, but yeah.
I think that there's a pretty good chance. I'm not going to say that it's like a perfect 50-50 chance or even 80-20, but I think that there is a chance that this thing is not just a natural object. I just think that we have to, focus on the right things, the really weird stuff. Off-gassing isn't something that would necessarily be weird. The fact that its tail is facing the wrong way, that's extremely weird. If it made a correction, right, that was much more than 1, 2, 3 degrees. I mean, even 3 degrees is a pretty drastic correction. Something where gravitational influence isn't going to change it, or an impact is going to change it. Like if we see a sudden, 10 degree to 90 degree freaking change all of a sudden, then that's a glaring red flag.
Well, but how would you describe that then? That the tail's facing the wrong way because it's trying to slow down, but it can't because it's going too fast?
I have no idea.
It's trying to slow down. It's on the perfect. See, there's another odd thing is that all the other interstellar objects, they came in on a different trajectory, like a different plane than this one, right? And it's coming in an opposite direction, right? So if you notice, like on this little image that I got here, this little GIF that's playing, all the bodies that are orbiting the sun are orbiting in a counterclockwise motion from this perspective, right? This object is orbiting at a clockwise motion, which is odd, right? It's also on the same plane as all the planets, which is also odd. It's literally going to be directly behind the sun in a few days from our perspective. Every other interstellar object was on such a different plane of entry that it was never like directly behind the sun. You see what I'm saying? So to me, this is just like, it's super weird, man. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to like stay away from the theory that
it's supernatural.
It could be something like that, man. I don't really know, dude. Like, there's just a lot of weird anomalies with this that it's tripping me up to the point to where, like, again, I don't think the information we get from space agencies is even half true. So, like, it makes me wonder, like, is this even happening? Like, is this even actually happening, or are they just manufacturing this whole thing?
Yeah. Manufacturing hysteria, right?
Yep, pretty much.
That Don't Look Up movie. Yeah,
exactly. I literally said that earlier.
Yeah, he did. I had to rewatch that. I made my wife watch that with me, and
I made Crystal watch it.
It's funny, isn't it?
It is. It's hilarious.
Shut up. Calm down. There's nothing to worry.
Everyone's screaming like, "Don't look up! Don't look up!" And then somebody looks up, and he's like, "What the fuck is that?" They're lying to us,
right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing, man. Like, it's a weird thing for sure. It's definitely. But even somebody like me that's like super skeptical about the information coming out, even I'm a little bit like, oh shit, like what the fuck's going on? So I can only imagine people who are just like totally 100%, like those people that have NASA stickers on their car, like they're probably like, oh my God.
Yes, I love my sticker that says lies on it.
Yeah.
And that's where I got my toolbox, and I work on airplanes. It's great.
Yeah, dude.
Skeeter is blown away that you watched the movie, Jeremy.
I did.
Yeah.
I fell asleep, but
no way.
Yeah, I fall asleep in movies. That's what I do.
Typical. But, you know, like that's just another example of like predictive programming, in my opinion. That movie is like full of that kind of stuff. And I know it's like a comedy movie, so they're probably poking fun at that idea to begin with. But, you know, you got like the social media guy in there that just knows like when you're going to take a shit, like he's predicting when people are going to die. Like, you know, like they're just with the algorithms. So that's all in there. You know, the extraterrestrial threat, and I don't mean aliens, but just the object, right? Like to me, this is all just seeding. Like it's predictive programming.
Dude, I had a thought the other day.
That's a first.
Scary, right? And it was funny because it was while we were watching that movie, and I was thinking, because my son right now, my youngest, is, you know, he's a big fan of the new Disney movie that came out, Elio. Have you guys seen it yet? You guys know anything about it?
No, I watch Disney movies.
So Elio is about a giant craft out in space full of alien beings that come to Earth looking for this kid that signaled them with a ham radio. Or actually, it was a different kind of radio. It was at his aunt's military base.
Was it like the second movie of WALL-E?
No, it's not. But it's strange.
This episode is brought to you by Marqeta. When it comes to your payments provider, you can't afford to compromise. Marqeta's modern payment solutions flex with your business without the trade-offs. Stable and agile, secure and innovative, scalable and configurable. If they say you can't have it all, don't believe them. Your business demands more. Choose a payments provider that delivers more. Choose Marqeta. Visit marqeta.com/Spotify to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon Business. We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions, so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
What if an appliance emergency didn't have to be? If your appliances suddenly decided they were done, don't stress. Best Buy has you covered with a wide variety of major appliances from trusted brands, in stock and available now. So you don't have to worry about laundry piling up, refilling the fridge, or that big dinner party you're hosting. Because Best Buy has the knowledge and expertise to get you the right appliance for your home. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
You know the words that dominate our news cycle.
Private equity keeps inventing
generative artificial gains tax on home. America's fueled by market volatility. Bets on Fed rate cuts.
But do you truly understand how they impact your world and your wallet? In a world that skims the what, understand the why. Because context changes everything. Subscribe to learn more at Bloomberg.com, the global benchmark for business news.
It just came out, like it's brand new, and it's almost like they're getting the younger generations ready for alien contact, or the possibility, with the funny air quotes, of alien contact, and especially in the way that it's presented as, you know, just this massive community coming to Earth. There's some parallels there. It's pretty crazy.
Well, if you watch any other movies, Jeremy, you would know that they've been doing this with movies for like 50 years.
I just think it's crazy that they're going as far as to putting it into a kids movie.
That doesn't surprise me. They put a lot of weird shit in kids movies these days.
It didn't do well in the box office, Skeeter. Dude, I like that movie. That movie is cool. But I also just like Alien. Like that guy right there.
Weird shit. Who knows? I guess we'll find out in a couple of months when this thing peeks his head around the sun. If it peeks his head around the sun, they'll come out with the next little piece of like, oh shit, by the way. Oops.
That's Jeffrey's I'm tired voice.
Yeah, I am tired.
I'm tired too.
It's a staple. I know it
well,
when I hear
it. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's Jeremy. Or that's Jeff when he's tired.
I'll care about this tomorrow morning.
No, I won't. I'll be. Do I still got to go to work tomorrow?
We got 10 seconds left to live. Yeah, I'll deal with this tomorrow. I'm going to.
We got interstellar threat from outer space, and I still got to get up for work tomorrow. So
I'm tired.
Yeah, just let the nukes fly. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm tired. My wife gave me cookies and milk, and I'm exhausted.
I didn't have any cookies today. She didn't make me any cookies.
Crystal?
Divorce her.
She was out of town.
And then we were busy yesterday.
We did go look at RVs today.
Divorce her.
So there was no time for cookies.
More so.
Crystal, you're spoiling him.
Making him cupcakes
All right, keep her around for a little bit.
Until the cupcakes are done.
All right. Jake, welcome back, buddy.
Oh, thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
Are you back for good this time?
Yeah, I'm back for good this time.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I had a long, hard thought, and I talked to Whitney about it. I talked to my family about it. I said, if I come back, it can't be because I'm back for a little bit, like 6 months, and I say, all right, so screw you guys, I'm out again. If I'm going to be back, I'm going to be back, and I decided that I'm going to be back. So here I am, and I spent a good month, month and a half maybe, working on myself, working on my sobriety, not being such a drunk. And yeah, I feel better. I feel more ready to do the thing and take on challenges, as well as kind of getting into a routine of what's important to me. And certainly this podcast is, but it's not the most important thing to me. But putting that into a place where I could have space for it, but it wasn't taking up space for other things, I suppose, is a good way to put it. I do like the new format where it's mostly interviews, because that takes away a lot of that, where it's not, okay, I need to dedicate 3 weeks to a project, a write-up like I'm in college, but I'm not, type stuff. So that's really helpful. But yeah, I'm here to do the thing, so thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm the only
I'm glad your
one
guys'
who likes to do
guest
this.
tonight canceled or fell apart, I suppose, or had bad connections. So yeah, here I am.
I mean,
well, I'm glad you're back, so now I don't have to hold up the fucking show every fucking week. Jesus.
And yeah, and I also had to take some time to realize what the show is, right? So, like, the last few episodes that me and Jeremy were on together, I was pretty combative, and if this was a Turning Point USA type show, the combative nature of my, holding down my beliefs and stuff like that would have been probably logical and allowed and accepted. But this is a show for, interviewing people and having people on to share their own ideas and experiences and things like that. So I can't guarantee for you, Jeff, that I'm going to be, holding down the fort as far as being pushing back against crazies and things like that, because I'm trying to balance everything out. But I can guarantee that I will have my own opinion, and you won't be left alone to deal with Jeremy by yourself. So,
oh,
yeah,
that's adorable.
Yeah. Got a cryptid walking over all my stuff.
It's not a cryptid, it's a
damn
cat.
skinwalker over there. But yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, hopefully we all die in a asteroid. That's my thing. We'll see.
And he just came back, and we're dead.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope we all die together. One big happy family like this. Blown apart into little bits into the abyss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, take us home, man. You do it.
Thanks for watching.
All right, never mind. I'll do it. All right, well, that has been another episode of the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast. Jake, welcome back, man. Good to have you. Jeffrey, I'm happy that you're awake right now, but I'm also happy that you're going to be able to go night-nights. That's cool. Until next time, travelers, next week we actually have a really cool episode, so see you next week. It's going to be great. I can't wait. Jake, I'll catch you up. And until next time, travelers, we'll see you in the next fork in the path of the Infinite Rabbit Hole. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Bye.
Bye.